Yes, Romex can be installed in an unfinished storage area above a garage. However, there are crucial installation requirements to adhere to. Firstly, conduit is generally required. Romex must be enclosed in conduit when run in unfinished attic spaces or other areas where there is potential for physical damage. Secondly, the conduit size needs to be adequate. The conduit must be large enough to accommodate the Romex wires and any future additional wires. Thirdly, proper conduit support is essential. The conduit must be securely supported at least every 3 feet. Fourthly, conduit bends have specific requirements. Conduit bends must have a minimum radius of 10 times the conduit diameter. Fifthly, wire insulation is important. The Romex wires must have a minimum insulation rating of 90 degrees Celsius or 105 degrees Celsius. Sixthly, wire gauge matters. The wire gauge must be appropriate for the amperage and voltage of the circuit. Seventhly, splices and connections must be done correctly. Splices and connections must be made in approved electrical boxes. There are also special considerations to keep in mind. Low ceiling height can present challenges. Due to the low ceiling height, it may be difficult to run conduit through the walls. Consider using flexible conduit, which is easier to bend in tight spaces. Joist placement is another factor. The conduit must be supported by the joists and ensure that the conduit does not interfere with any structural members. Fire blocking is also important. If the storage area is not fire rated, the holes for the conduit penetrations must be fire blocked to prevent the spread of fire. Remember that the pre-wire for the fan or light should be run in conduit for added protection. If there is any insulation in the storage area, it must be kept away from the conduit and wiring to prevent overheating. It is highly recommended to have the electrical work inspected by a qualified electrician before use. Considering the specifics of the described space, with a ceiling height of 7.5 feet at the peak and 4.5 feet at the wall, the use of conduit becomes even more important to protect the Romex wiring from potential physical damage. When selecting the appropriate Romex for the installation, it's essential to consider the ampacity requirements of the circuits being run. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides tables that specify the allowable ampacities for different wire gauges and insulation types. For example, a 14 American wire gauge, or AUG, copper conductor with type NMB insulation, commonly used in Romex, typically has an ampacity of 15 amps, while a 12 AWG conductor has an ampacity of 20 amps, and a 10 AWG conductor has an ampacity of 30 amps. It's crucial to select a wire gauge that can safely handle the expected load of the circuit, taking into account factors such as voltage drop and ambient temperature. The type of conduit used can also influence the allowable ampacity of the conductors. When conductors are installed in conduit, the heat generated by the conductors can be trapped, potentially leading to overheating and reduced ampacity. The NEC addresses this issue by providing adjustment factors for conductors in conduit, which may require directing the ampacity of the conductors based on the number of conductors in the conduit and the ambient temperature. Selecting the appropriate conduit size is also critical. The NEC specifies the maximum number of conductors allowed in different sizes of conduit. It's important to ensure that the conduit is large enough to accommodate the conductors being installed, as well as any future conductors that may be added. Overfilling the conduit can make it difficult to pull the conductors and can also damage the insulation. When running conduit through the walls and ceiling of the storage area, it's important to follow proper installation techniques to ensure that the conduit is securely supported and protected from damage. Conduit should be supported at intervals not exceeding 3 feet, and within 3 feet of any box or fitting. Supports can be provided by straps, clamps, or hangers that are specifically designed for use with conduit. When drilling holes for conduit penetrations, it's important to avoid damaging any structural members, such as studs or joists. Holes should be drilled in the center of the framing members and should be no larger than necessary to accommodate the conduit. If the storage area is not fire rated, it's important to fire block any penetrations through walls or ceilings to prevent the spread of fire. Fire blocking can be achieved by filling the gaps around the conduit with a fire-resistant material, such as caulk or foam. When making splices and connections in electrical boxes, it's important to use approved connectors and to follow proper wiring techniques. All connections should be tight and secure, and the wires should be properly insulated to prevent shorts and ground faults. Electrical boxes should be securely mounted to the framing members and should be accessible for future maintenance. In the specific scenario described, with a low ceiling height, it may be necessary to use flexible conduit to navigate tight spaces and make connections to outlets and fixtures. Flexible conduit is easier to bend and maneuver than rigid conduit, making it a good choice for applications where space is limited. However, flexible conduit must be properly supported and protected from damage to ensure its long-term reliability. Given the presence of a pro wire for a fan or light, it's important to ensure that the wiring is properly sized and protected to handle the load of the fixture. Fans and lights can draw a significant amount of current, so it's important to use a wire gauge that is appropriate for the amperage of the circuit. It's also important to protect the wiring from physical damage by running it in conduit. If there is any insulation in the storage area, it's important to keep it away from the conduit and wiring to prevent overheating. Insulation can trap heat and cause the conductors to overheat, potentially leading to insulation breakdown and electrical hazards. The NEC specifies the minimum clearance requirements for conductors and insulation. It is highly recommended to have the electrical work inspected by a qualified electrician before use. A qualified electrician can ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and standards and that it is safe and reliable. They can also identify any potential problems or hazards that may not be apparent to a homeowner or an experienced installer. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional help when needed. The NEC Article 334.10 addresses uses permitted for non-metallic sheet cable, or Romex. It states that type NM cable shall be permitted for both exposed and concealed work in normally dry locations. Type NM cable shall be permitted to be installed or fixed in air voids and masonry block or tile walls where such walls are not exposed or subject to excessive moisture or dampness. Type NM cable shall be permitted to be used in 1 and 2 family dwellings, multifamily dwellings, and other structures. Type NM cable shall be permitted to be used in cable trays. Type NM cable shall be permitted to be surface mounted on interior walls or ceilings. The ampacity of conductors in type NM cable shall be as specified in 310.15. The 90°C rating shall be permitted to be used for ampacity adjustment and correction calculations provided the final derated ampacity does not exceed that for a 60°C rated conductor. The NEC Article 334.12 addresses uses not permitted. Type NM cable shall not be permitted in the following locations. Firstly, in any dwelling or structure not specifically permitted in 334.10. Secondly, exposed in dropped or suspended ceilings in other than 1 and 2 family and multifamily dwellings. Thirdly, as service entrance cable. Fourthly, in commercial garages and repair shops. Fifthly, in theaters and similar locations. Sixthly, in motion picture studios. Seventhly, in hazardous or classified locations. Eighthly, embedded in poured concrete, cement, or aggregate. Ninthly, where exposed to corrosive fumes or vapors. Tenthly, when run through or attached to metal framing members. The NEC Article 334.15 addresses protection from physical damage. Type NM cable shall be protected from physical damage where passing through floor, walls, or partitions, or where subject to physical damage. Type NM cable shall be protected by conduit, electrical metallic tubing, Schedule 80 polyvinyl chloride rigid non-metallic conduit, or other approved means. Where passing through a floor, the cable shall be enclosed in rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, Schedule 80 polyvinyl chloride rigid non-metallic conduit, or other approved means extending not less than 6 inches above the floor. It is also important to refer to local building codes and regulations, as they may have additional requirements for electrical installations in unfinished storage areas. These codes may specify the types of wiring methods that are allowed, the spacing of supports, and the requirements for fire blocking and other safety measures. It is essential to comply with all applicable codes and regulations to ensure a safe and code-compliant installation. When planning the electrical layout for the storage area, it is important to consider the location of outlets, switches, and lighting fixtures. Outlets should be placed in convenient locations to provide power for tools, appliances, and other equipment. Switches should be located near doorways and other entrances to control lighting fixtures. Lighting fixtures should be selected to provide adequate illumination for the storage area. The NEC provides guidelines for the number and spacing of outlets and lighting fixtures in different types of occupancies. It is important to follow these guidelines to ensure that the storage area is adequately equipped with the electrical power and lighting. When installing outlets, it is important to use tamper-resistant receptacles, especially in areas where children may be present. Tamper-resistant receptacles have a built-in safety mechanism that prevents foreign objects from being inserted into the slots, reducing the risk of electrical shock. When installing lighting fixtures, it is important to use energy-efficient lamps, such as LED or compact fluorescent lamps. These lamps use less energy than incandescent lamps and have a longer lifespan, saving money on electricity bills and replacement costs. It is also important to properly ground all electrical equipment and wiring. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. All electrical boxes, outlets, switches, and lighting fixtures should be grounded in accordance with the NEC. When working with electrical wiring, it is important to take precautions to prevent electrical shock. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any wiring. Use insulated tools and wear rubber gloves to protect yourself from electrical shock. Never work on electrical wiring in wet or damp conditions. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Installing electrical wiring can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from electrical shock. In summary, running Romex in an unfinished storage area above a garage is permissible, but requires careful attention to detail and strict adherence to the NEC and local building codes. The use of conduit for physical protection, proper wire sizing and ampacity calculations, secure support of wiring and conduit, appropriate fire blocking, and professional inspection are all crucial steps in ensuring a safe and code-compliant installation.